You may be wondering what happened to the opening ceremony. To try and keep things on time, we've had to miss it, but you all get to see all the guys on the stage at the end of the weekend, so don't worry, okay? You'll all see them all together, so sorry about that. But I do have your first guest. Ladies and gents, please welcome Misha Collins!
Listening more? How do you say it? How do you say good morning?
Guten Morgen!
Guten Morgen. Those are the box seats. The VIPs up there. The royalty. So, how is everyone? I almost didn't make it here. I was driving to the airport, and you know how I have a rental car. We were in Scotland, and I had a rental car, and you know how when you return your rental car, if the gas tank isn't full, they charge you a lot of money to fill it up. And I was like, I'm running a little late, but I'm not going to let them rip me off. So I went to the gas station, and I filled up the tank, and it's a diesel. So in the U.S., diesel is the green handle. Here it's the opposite. So, or in the UK anyway, it's the opposite. So just as I was just tapping out the last bit, I was like, that doesn't say diesel. And then I had to siphon out the tank, empty the tank, and it took quite a while. I got to the airport with 20 minutes before my departure, and got on the plane. My bag didn't. My toothbrush didn't. So my deodorant didn't. So if you notice anything special during the photo ops, you'll know what's going on. I actually washed my underwear in the sink this morning. So there's one little tiny patch of me that's clean right now. Yes, do you want to ask me a question? Okay, what is the question you want to ask?
Hey. And welcome to Germany, first off.
Thank you, thank you.
We're very happy to see you. I'll just ask the first question.
How many questions do you have?
I have one, but it's like the first question. The whole concept.
Got it.
So, now that Cass is human, are we going to see cooking fresh and fast with Cass in the winter?
Great idea.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we know that Cass shops for groceries somewhat like my son does. And it would be fun to have Dean showing Cass, how to cook. And, Cass messing everything up, and putting peanuts into the wrong thing. That's a good idea. And Cass would try so hard, He'd be like, you know what, I'm going to make you guys breakfast in bed. And then it would be just, and of course Sam and Dean would be like, that's good, Cass. Thank you. Good morning. Guten Morgen. Nice hearing.
Can you do it in Dutch too?
Yes, of course I can do it in Dutch. to show off, but yes, I can do it better.
Okay.
And you? Fluid.
We more.
See, we more. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Okay, so my question is, when you're playing Castiel, do you keep in mind his wings in the way that you move around?
Yeah. That would be a really funny episode if Cassie, because you know his wings are fucking big, right? So we'd be like, Sam would be like, hey, hop in the car. I'm gonna ride on top of the car.
There's a scene where Cass is grocery shopping and kind of looks like he doesn't actually touch the shelf that falls over.
Really?
Yeah.
I should watch that. Really? It does look like that?
Yeah.
That's good. No, I mean, in reality, that was me just taking it over, but I like that idea.
Thank you very much. Morgen, Misha.
How are you?
Good, thank
Okay, good.
In the season finale, did you know exactly what happened to the angels?
What did we do last year?
The so dishwashes, I think.
What?
The dishwasher sign, the number sign.
Yes. What? No, I mean, last year, you and I had
Yes.
an argument.
No, that's what year before.
The year before? That was 2 years ago that we had an argument.
The weapons of heaven.
The weapons of heaven.
Yes.
Ah. Yes, that's right. Yes, yes, yes.
The wall is scared.
What?
The wall is falling down. The weapons of heaven.
The walls fall down? Wait, okay, go ahead. Are you here for moral support? Go back. So, there's paper here. This is good. We can take notes. What are you asking me right now?
About the season finale, when
Yes.
the angels fell on altar. Did you know what happened to them? To the angels, they haven't lost their grace. The rest has lost the grace. That's what happened to them. But yeah,
Can you please ask the question in German?
the other angels, do you know what exactly happened to them? What state are they in now? Did they lose the grace too, or do they still have their powers?
That's a good question. I mean, they all fell, right?
Yeah.
And you saw that, and it looks like they're losing their wings.
Yeah.
So my guess is that they lost their powers too, but maybe they have a little bit of power. This is a guess. I don't know. They don't tell me anything. So, what do you think?
Part of their house.
Part of the power.
Yes, like 1965.
Yeah. John, there's something wrong with this microphone. It's falling out of my hands.
I greased it up earlier for you, so
And there's butter all over it, is what's going on. So I think that would probably be the best thing for them to do is make it so that the angels have some power. They're, they're not just regular people, because it would be a little bit boring. Right? Yeah. But I think Cass maybe lost all his powers. Maybe. No, I'm a Cass They have told me, I mean, I think that they don't know for sure what they're going to do. You know, they write the end of the season and they have the very end of the season. I think they've started to form an idea of what's going to happen in the next year a little bit, but they haven't actually sat down. And they sit down in a room and they do what's called breaking the story, which means they come up with the basic ideas of the story. And they haven't done that yet, so I think that they don't know. Now they might know. Now time has passed, they've been working on it, so. But I don't know, they don't tell me. I think that they think that we would be dangerous if we had too much information. So they just don't tell us anything. And when they do tell us, I know now you just want to go sit down, but when they do tell us things, they sometimes tell us the wrong information too. So, you know, the only time that I really got advanced notice on something was when Sarah Gamble told me that the cast was going to be dead and gone and never coming back. Oh, really? You know, that's kind of disappointing because that's my job. But then cast did come back, so she was wrong. But she said, definitely not coming back. Unless as an evil twin. And she said that, like, that's not going to happen. So, yeah. And so, how has your year been? Yeah. How have you been? Are you a pair? No. What? Maybe now? I don't know. They look at each other like, hey, good idea. What do you do for the rest of the year? Either one of them. Both of you.
The rest of the year. There's nothing planned yet.
She's like, we're wide open, so if you want to finish this year, we can... Hold on, I have to finish this. Okay, next question.
Hi, Misha. Nice to meet you. My first Vernacular convention. I'm probably the only other American here other than you guys. No! Anyway.
How many Americans? Whoa! What are you doing here?
Well, I've lived here in Germany for almost 10 years now because my family moved over through the service, through military service, and now we've been retired. And I go to college in the States when I want summer vacation, so I'm back here.
You're on summer vacation, did you just say?
Summer? It's not exactly summery here, but it's still summer.
It's not summer in the U.S. either. We're both in the northern hemisphere. I don't know if you're aware of that. So you came home and you said to your parents, I'm on summer vacation. And they're old and retired and they don't know better. And so they're like, oh, my daughter's on summer vacation. Obviously, the truth is you've been expelled.
College lets out in May. Don't you know that?
It's May. Really? You're out already? That's amazing.
Mid-May is when college is done, and then you go back in August.
Not true. So,
Well, for my school it is.
so does that mean you have to go back in August and pretend to be in college at that point?
Sure.
You send fake report cards back to your parents and everything?
My parents don't see my report cards. That's not how it works.
Oh, really? Oh, you have a good system. Where do you go to college?
I go to one of the state schools in New York in Oswego. It's like right on Lake Ontario. So hopefully I get to TorontoCon next week.
That would be more convenient. Oh, actually, this isn't so bad. So what is your question?
I kind of had like a 2-in-1. My first question mostly is just, are you excited and looking forward to being a regular for season 9? And the other one has more to do with the show itself. Now that cast has lost his race and is going to be human, essentially, do you think that maybe Dean will stop being so angry with Cass's character? Because there's been nothing but bitter fortune throughout season 8 because of past decisions in the past.
My answer to your first part, question A, is yes, I am excited to be a regular on Supernatural again.
So are we. We're all excited to have you.
Because that's the only way I can get them to say sort of like, hey, we're not going to kill you right away. And they could still kill me, but they'd have to pay me if they did, you know, which is different.
We'd all probably cry our hearts out if you died.
Really? Would you? I don't think so. Because at this point, it's so empty and meaningless when they kill someone. I mean, they've killed me so many times now. It's like, I'm dead.
Oh,
dead. And then, is Dean gonna stop being such an asshole? Probably not.
Oh!
Yeah. I mean, maybe a little bit because Cass is gonna be sort of ineffectual. He's gonna be weak and, you know, need help.
Learning how to be human.
He's learning how to cook.
Maybe he will make popcorn.
Yeah. They had Cass eating popcorn recently. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
Everything
Wait,
comes
he's
full
eating.
circle, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I was wondering about why you were eating, because Cass still doesn't eat food, so I was surprised to see.
You know what? Don't poke holes in my performance.
It was nice seeing
Cass has
you.
recently eaten popcorn and drunk beer
I told you.
and been generally very inconsistent with the character. And coffee, that's right. Yeah. He's been acquiring the taste. Okay.
Alright, thank you.
I hope this whole pretending to be in college thing works out for you.
I'll see you at my dinner lab.
Okay, bye. Hello, I like your t-shirt.
Thank you. I wanted to ask what your habits are when you have started filming day. So what you do in the morning or drinking a tea.
My habits.
Yeah.
Great question. What do I have? Like, what does a typical day look like?
Yeah.
When I'm shooting?
Hmm?
That's a really good question. I do kind of have a little bit of a routine. I wake up. I almost always do that before I start shooting. And it depends. If the kids are up with me, you know, in Vancouver, then I have been awake already all night long. I'm very tired. I go for a run, usually. And then I eat food. No, that's not normal. No. I'm trying to remember my routine. Okay, so I wake up, and then I put on shorts, because I'm going to go for a run. And I put on shoes as well, and I go outside. And sometimes, if it's Vancouver, it's raining and very cold, and it's possibly dark out still. And then I get back, and I take a shower, and now I'm late. For sure, I'm going to be late. And I'm cutting it closer and closer. Basically, I'm supposed to be at set. They're supposed to pick me up at my apartment. But I say, no, I'll drive myself. Because I know what happens is they come, they pick me up, and they try to pick me up early. And it drives me crazy. So if I drive myself, there's nobody there knocking on my door, calling the phone, and I can leave late, like super late. And then I speed all the way to the studio, which is about 45 minutes away, but I get there in about half an hour. And sometimes I get stopped by a policeman on the way. And then I get there, and right before I arrive at the studio, I get a phone call from the second AD, Kevin. He's like, hey man, are you close? Because he's really nervous because his boss is like, what's going on? Where is he? And then I say, yeah, I lie. I say, yeah, I'm right around the corner, and I'm still 15 minutes away. And then I pull up and I get out of the car and I walk over to the breakfast truck. I talk to people and I act like there's no hurry at all. And everybody, is he going to get there in time? And then I go to the hair and makeup trailer. What's happening? What did I say? Is that what's going on? Oh my God, the Germans hate it when you're late, don't they?
We don't like it.
I thought I liked that guy, but if he's going to show up to work late, I'm going to like it. Wow. It's an interesting cultural difference. Yeah. Hey, Dom. What's up, Dom? What's up, Dom? Hey, Dom. So then I go into the hair and makeup trailer, and they take a really long time, like, you know, to get my hair messy just the right way. I mean, of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, we're done, but it takes a little while, and then I get dressed, and then I sit in my trailer for like half an hour waiting for them to say, come to set now. And then I go to set, and we do a rehearsal. You know what that is? No. A rehearsal is basically where you come in and you say the words in the scene and you try to figure out where you're going to stand and where you're going to put the cameras, and then you go back to your trailer and you sit there for another 45 minutes while they put up lights, and then you go back and then you get on set and everybody is ready to shoot the scene and they say action and Jared fondles my balls. That's about a typical morning.
Silence.
Thank you. Hi.
I was wondering, how far you would say differently like now, how far is going to change the anything about it?
No. I don't know anything. I don't know. I don't know. People ask, what is the episode you're going to direct? It's episode 17. That's all I know.
Okay.
Wait, what?
We saw it was way more emotional when it was Poland.
We saw him be emotional? Oh, wait. What did we see? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I think that was on purpose. That was me. I'm the actor that portrays the character, and I did do that. Yeah. So that's a good observation. He might be more emotional and more kind of human-y. But we'll see what they do with the scripts. I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see if they go to sort of future casts that we saw in season 4, was that? 5.
Five.
I don't know, they all blend together. But that's it could be. I wonder what they do with that. They have to deal with the issue of 2014 and the fact that we saw 2014 in the past. Don't you think? I do. that was an alternate reality and we did some time travel and changed that outcome, I mean, they could work around it, I'm sure. Or they could time travel the whole cast to 2015 and skip 2014. There's a lot of ways to deal with that problem, I'm sure. What? Call the doctor. They could get Doctor Who in there. They might have some copyright infringement issues with that. So it could be like, we would know what they're talking about, but they bring in like a telephone booth and a nurse, not a doctor. The nurse would help them time travel. Thank you. Hey, over there, stop talking. Hi.
How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
I'm good too.
Good.
I was just wondering, was there ever like a moment in your life where you had to make a decision and people told you that you shouldn't do it, like a path that you wanted to take, and people were like, no, you can't do that, you will fail, and you did it anyway. And is there a moment like this? And if you remember, how do you feel about it today? Are you glad that you made the decision or not?
Well, I would have to say that I have been fairly lucky in that the people who have been close to me have, generally speaking, been, I would say, supportive of what I have done in my life. My mom always let me make my own decisions and encouraged me to take the road less traveled. She would say things like, Misha, it's up to you. You don't have to go to high school if you don't want to. Whatever you want to do, it's fine. So I didn't get a lot of pressure. I think a lot of people get a lot of pressure from their parents or very close family saying, you don't do that. It's too risky. Don't try to be an actor. That's irresponsible, which it is. Very irresponsible, and chances are very slim of it being successful, but nobody said that to me, and I was too stupid to know it, so it worked out.
But you're happy?
I did have a few people, and also my wife was also always strangely optimistic and supportive of the stupid decisions that I made, which is lovely. I mean, I don't think I would have. There's a lot of things in life I think that I would not have been able to do if I had opposition, in close circles to it, because it's just too hard, I think. There have been individuals though who are outside of my immediate circle of trust. My wife's parents, they were very disappointed with her choice in a partner. First of all, they would say things like, well, he's not bad for the product of a divorce. My wife's mother tried to get me to be a physical therapist for a while. This acting thing was a pretty harebrained scheme, in her opinion. So she was dropping hints like, my next door neighbor, her son is a physical therapist. It's really good money. And then when I was graduating from college, we had this it was called the Career and Placement Office, and it's basically the office at school that's responsible for helping University of Chicago graduates find jobs. And they had a big seminar. There was a big room like this, and so everybody who was graduating had to come to this seminar. And it was packed in a lot tighter than this. There was no room, and every seat was full. We all came in, and she said, "Now, before we start, if anyone has to go," there's a woman up on the stage in front of us, and she said, "Before we start, if anyone has to go to the bathroom, I want you to go right now, because we are going to be in this room for the next hour and 20 minutes, and I don't want any interruptions. This is very important stuff." And so everybody sort of settled in. Okay. And I was sitting just right in the middle. And then she started talking. And she started talking about, all right, so now there are going to be a lot of corporate headhunters coming to the university. A lot of people like to hire students from our school because a lot of smart kids went to this school. And you're going to need to all wear really, get a good a suit that fits you well. Those of you who have, stubble on your face and long hair, get a haircut, get a clean shave. It's very important that you present yourself well. And I just started having a panic attack. I don't think I want a job. And so she was about 15 minutes into her talk, and I was right in the middle, and I just got up and I was like, excuse me, I'm sorry. And I left, and I didn't come back, and I never went to a job interview. And I went, same school, I went up to the theater department chairman, and I said, listen, hey, I know I haven't done any plays here, and I've shown no interest in theater at all. What do you think about maybe if I wanted to be an actor? How would that work? And he was like, no. How would it work? It wouldn't work. It would not work at all. You would never make it. So don't do that. Do something else. And
showed him.
I was like, oh, all right. And then I showed that little fucker. So there have been times when I have come across people who are telling me I should do one thing or I should do another thing, and I defied them. But they weren't people who were really close to me, so it was a lot easier to do. I think it would be it's a lot harder to deal with if your parents is telling you that you have to do something that you don't want to do, or that you're not good enough or something like that. So I was lucky to not have those voices in my head. My father was also, he didn't interfere. He didn't encourage me, but he didn't discourage me either. So it was okay, that was a very long answer to a fairly short question. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there.
My friend and my husband go there.
You have a friend and a husband?
And my husband.
Congratulations!
Lucky one. We were geschäftlich the first time this year, and we really loved it. So thank
You were what?
We take part in Fishway.
Oh! Who did Gishwas? Wow! That's a high concentration of German Gishwas participants. And other places, probably.
And we wondered, what was your favorite item?
What was my favorite item? I'll tell you what was kind of a disappointing item for me. The catapult throwing pumpkin 100 feet, I think it was 100 feet. I thought, one of the items on the scavenger hunt was build a catapult to throw a pumpkin more than 100 feet. And I thought, that's incredibly hard. This is going to be a great challenge. And apparently, I didn't know this, there are pumpkin catapults all over the place. So people were just like going down the street to their corner pumpkin catapult and getting it launched. So it was like everybody got a pumpkin launched from a catapult, and that was a little bit disappointing. The jewel bosoms were good. I really liked the firemen wearing kale bikinis. Is that your husband?
Yeah.
Is he a fireman?
Yeah.
He is? Or just he dressed up as one? Oh, volunteer fireman. Are you the husband? I have seen this man almost naked. Almost, yeah. That was a great, some of those images are just so epic. The cover of our scavenger hunt picture book. What is it called? Coffee table book. Is like this fireman standing in front of this really thin fireman holding a hose in front of his fire truck, wearing kale pasties on his nipples, and a kale thong, and it's just, and he's holding an axe. It's beautiful. What? There, I'll show the image. Can you bring me this document? That's rude. I'll come get it. I mean, this to me just sort of encapsulates the spirit of the scavenger hunt. The image isn't quite coming out perfectly on that, but he's just got this sneer on his face, like, don't fuck with me. Which is great because it's very thin and not very threatening. Thank you, sir. You look great, by the way. We just had the scavenger hunt winners castle weekend in Scotland, and the castle we were in was amazing. It was full on, like Cromwell had shot cannonballs at it, and the walls were 15 feet thick, and it was totally amazing. It was a dungeon with shackles on the wall that was like that. Yeah, they used to throw people in here until they were eaten by rats. It was really cool. Yeah. I've been trying to figure out where next year to take the winners of the scavenger hunt, and I can't figure out the right place. Disneyland. Now that would be badass. I was thinking of maybe trying to rent out the Shining, the hotel, which would be cool, right? Bates Motel, also cool. Not quite as cool though, because it's a motel, not a hotel. Yeah, we could do some great we could shoot some good shower scenes there. Yeah, any other? I mean, where else would someone have a good idea for a place to go? I don't know. What? Oh, a German castle.
Yeah.
If you're Germans, shouldn't you be asking for somewhere not in Germany? Like, so you can get, I want a trip to my neighborhood. The Hearst Castle? Yeah. Switzerland. Austria. Okay, you guys are
Denmark.
Good ideas. The Hearst Castle would be lovely to rent out. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the Hearst Castle. It's in California, and it is magnificent and opulent, and a complete, Hearst, Randolph Hearst, wasted an awful lot of money visiting that Hearst. What? Or his mistress? For his mistress. I like the way you think. She's like, for his mistress. You should think about that. I should be your mistress, and you should spend a lot of money on me. It's your turn, yes? No, it's your turn. Hi.
So we have this really funny shopping scene where Castella is considerate and buys steamed beef jerky and dirty magazines. And I want to ask if you were to buy...
Before you go any further. So, busty Asian beauties. Dean has a thing for girls like you. Busty Asian beauties is a recurring theme in Supernatural. And in this episode, Cass goes in and he sees Busty Asian beauties and he's like, I know that's a magazine that Dean likes to read. I'll pick it up for him. And there were several editions of Busty Asian beauties on the newsstand. And one of the things in television, what they'll do for something like that is they'll buy something like Better Homes and Gardens, And then they'll put a busty Asian, they'll print up a fake magazine cover for busty Asian beauties. So what they did for this scene is they printed up a fake cover, and then they bought like Hustler, you know, deep anal, whatever. I mean, it was like full-on hardcore cum shot porn magazine. Of course, I picked it up and I'm like, good morning. That was good morning. That was amazing. So that, which I'm sure is the kind of thing that like you can call the sexual harassment hotline at Warner Brothers and be like, guess what just happened to me? It was horrible. I was picking up a prop magazine and I looked inside and there was this giant and it was but I digress. What is your question?
If you were to buy something for Cassia, if you went shopping, what would you buy him?
In other words, is he into the busty Asian? I understand what you're asking. I hate to say it, but I think that Cass still has fairly simple, innocent pleasures. I can imagine him going into the store and picking up one of those little pinwheels that when the wind check this out. That's so cool. Can we put this on the front of the Impala? A cat? Yes. Although they don't, I don't know if you are in the States or in Canada, they don't sell cats at convenience stores. I'm going to give me one copy of June's edition of Busty Asian Beauties, and I'll take a couple of kittens too.
Because now we have those rubbish in the bunker, my physical room, and what is putting there, like amended, what? The photo of Mary and when the book would cast in his room.
If Cass had a room, what would he put in his room? Like posters on the wall, posters of Justin Bieber probably on the wall. Pinwheels around the room. A single hanger that he could put his trench coat and suit on. Yeah. He probably needs like a halo hook. And a wing buffer. I don't know. What does an angel need? Hey, don't rub it in. Come on.
More wings?
I don't know. What is Cass going to be like when he's a human? Maybe he's just going to get depressed and play video games all day.
Oh, he's stoned.
Cass, get off Halo.
Start listening to emo music.
What?
Do you think you might start listening to some emo music? Do you think you're going to start listening to some depressing rock music?
Oh, depressing music, yeah, probably. He's also going to be online all the time, and he's going to be one of those people that's responding to all of the spam. So, hold on, Dean, I got a message from someone in Nigeria who's in trouble. You go take care of this gin. I'm going to deal with this poor guy. The church needs $1 million. I think I can get it. Penis enlargement? this is a big question also now that you're broaching the topic. Does Cass have a penis? We need to know. Because there was a moment early on when they were talking about angels not having and then there have been allusions, so then it seems like maybe we're not sure, we don't know, maybe there are, maybe they're Bob, maybe they're huge. I don't know. What do you think? I, of course, want to believe that Cass not only has a penis, but that it's very substantial. Chrysler Building, I think we've made an allusion to it being as big as the Chrysler Building. That's right, he's got an erection. I think that, and Doug, if you want to weigh in on this, please feel free. How would you describe Cass's penis?
Having felt it many times, it's quite sizable.
I'm glad you went that direction. You could have gone. It's difficult to find, but it's there. It's small. It's adorable. It's adorable.
I was being generous.
You can't go back now. You already said it was huge. So yeah, I'm glad we had this talk. Are you like 14? How old are you? You're 21. Okay, so we're just I just suddenly had the thought like 14. I've made inappropriate jokes to people, and then like in the autograph line, and then their mom comes up and buys me. My daughter is starting high school next year. You creep. But you're already. What are you doing up here?
I've come to take you away. Do you want photos with them or not?
Oh.
Okay, that strategy didn't work. These people can't be reasoned with. Don't you know that? Hi. Who's waving back there? You're just a silhouette, Jimmy. With ears. Yes. Okay, does anyone have any questions for Doug?
Okay, it's not exactly a question, but I thought I'd give it a chance, and I wrote something for you. It's just a little bit, it's very personal, but
It's what?
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Dear Misha,
Yes.
not an actual question, but I wanted time to say thank you. Thanks for making me happy. Thanks for making me smile. Thanks for making me laugh and giggle and feeling all good and warm and happy. Thanks for brightening up my day with happy-go-lucky tweets and with growing people. Thanks for making me chuckle, even when I have a bad day and everything seems to be so funny. Thanks always. Thanks for Thank you for being a role model of parenting. I've never seen a daddy more dedicated and affectionate. Thanks for sharing your life with me. Like today, and for giving us the opportunity to be part of it. Thanks for pictures with bad hair and ripped pants and thanks for keeping up with hordes of screaming fangirls and silicon balls like me. Thanks for being a member of our family. We love you.
Thank you. That's so sweet. You really, you painted me into a corner with that. I can't really say anything mean to you now. Thank you. That's very sweet. I feel undeserving, but I would like to say thank you for allowing me to play in this community and for coming out and saying hi. And, I don't know. It's a good group to be a part of, so thank you guys.
Just a quick announcement. When you see your group up on that screen, please